Hello everyone, Bashar here. So we are together with another build video, my second one for this season. You guys have been asking about my character, and yeah, I was a little bit busy with temple stuff, and build videos take considerably longer. So finally here we are. I'm gonna show you my build, and I would say it's no need for modesty. It's very much top tier, very powerful, extremely tough, and guys, when you ask people, they always say they don't die, right? And when you see them permanently stuck on level 92, you chuckle a little bit. Let me tell you, I am a person that dies, right? But this character just does not die. Take a look at this. This is, I would say, pretty much proof, right? I do have all of the 4 volumes intact, which means I have been not dying in the process of accruing these. Yeah, and I'm level 99 with 32% experience, right? This is also definitely the season to hit level 100, but let me not get sidetracked. I have a tendency to. So let's just go with the simplest thing first. The attributes. What you want is as little dexterity as possible, which is 0 from your tree, right? Because Headhunter is going to provide us with a little bit, and that's going to be enough for the build, right? Intelligence, we need 157 so that we could equip level 20 implicit Sigil of Power if we need it, right? Or the level 20 skill gems, those also require 157. So that's what we need. Some of our gear can help us dodge the requirements, but I don't think there is the way to dodge the level 20 chiming staff. I guess you can do the lower chiming staff and reduce the intelligence requirement a bit. If you can, everything else goes into strength because having a decent life total is very important. We will get into that. And again, like always, I will have to cough a little. Sorry about that. So yeah, as you can see, this is mighty tanky, right? 3.5k HP, 9.4k energy shield. But I'm not gonna misdirect you or anything. This is the most expensive build I have ever done. I would say I am in the neighborhood of maybe 6 meters. I'm not very sure, right? But it doesn't have to be that much, right? So there is a budget version of this, right? And obviously it's a different build, right? I don't want to lie. I have a several mirror build. The budget version of this variant would be still in the mirror level. I'm talking about a different build in which the damage is lower, but it can handle tier 15 maps. I had spec'd away from it, and I didn't find the energy to go back. So anyway, let's get into it. Those attributes are easy. Let's go over the skill gems. I'm gonna be showcasing you the character in the temple. We get life remnants from the Bloodmage Ascendancy. We put remnant potency, harmonic remnants, and catalyst rejuvenation in. Catalyst rejuvenation reduces our cooldowns. That is mainly for the blink that we will be utilizing for the light radius. Kindly refer to my light radius video for that, right? We will be blinking, and with catalyst rejuvenation fully stacked, it goes up to 8 stacks. It can help you save. With my setup, it's going to save you like about 0.15 seconds from the cooldown of blink, which is not huge, but also something noticeable, right? For Sigil of Power, don't fret if you cannot afford the level 20 Sigil of Power, because that's the thing that's going to unlock the last slot, and this kind of does nothing, right? What you want to hit in terms of Sigil Power level is a multiple of 4 plus 1, right? What I mean by that is you want level 25, level 29, or level 33 if possible, because at those breakpoints, the amount of spell damage that the Sigil of Power provides goes up. So mine is 34. Actually, that's not the case. It's a little bit of a lie. It's level 33, so it's at the exact perfect spot. That was a little bit lucky, but that's where you want to be, right? 29 is also fine. 25 is also fine. If you can't do anything, that's just, if you can't get there, that's also not the end of the world. My spark tooltip is 350k. That's a little bit inflated thanks to this cast speed I have. It's normally around 340k. That's a decent amount. Let's go over the Sigil of Power gems. Magnified area, prolonged duration, cooldown recovery, rapid casting, and second wind. And I would say from these gems, these are on the important ones, prolonged duration and magnified area. The rest are pretty much unimportant, because the thing is, you do not really place the Sigil of Power mid-fight, right? So the cast speed doesn't really matter. The cooldown recovery doesn't matter because they will be dead. And second wind is even more irrelevant. So, I mean, if you have a level 19 Sigil of Power on the, sorry, misclick, on the Chiming Staff, doesn't really matter, right? I went all in. Yeah, next up we have our bread and butter skill, Spark. So this build will be utilizing Spark and Comet both. So I wouldn't suggest going for cold damage. I wouldn't suggest going for lightning damage. We will be dealing both kinds of damage. The cold one is our main damage dealer, obviously, but still the lightning will deal damage as well. I just go for all damage or no damage, right? I do not have any cold or light damage on my build, right? I have elemental damage and whatnot. Let's get into it. We have Pierce 3, we have Rapid Casting 2, we have Considered Casting, Relentless Propulsion. We have a lot of cast speed, so projectile speed increases. That means sparks move around faster, which means we will be doing more damage, but more importantly, we will be dealing more crits, which will trigger the cast on critical. And we have Sion's Temper, fires them in a shard, fires them in a circle, which means we will be getting more sparks. We have access to this Cold Infused. We will get to that right later on. Orb of Storms, that's mainly used for bosses. We have Efficiency, we have Overabundance, Unleash, Lightning Mastery, and Living Lightning. I'm a little bit puzzled. Why do I not have Efficiency 2 in there? Is it? That's... Oh my god. Wow. Oh my god, I have been playing like... So the thing is, I don't really cast it, but yeah, I did catch my mistake. Because I remember that, so sometimes guys, the third version could be sometimes worse because they do something negative, but yeah, I did have an additional cost on my Orb of Storms for no reason at all. That was silly. Okay, let's correct this. Efficiency 2, Overabundance 2, Unleash, Lightning Mastery, and Living Lightning. Yeah, so Orb of Storms will not be used very frequently, so it's not that important. So this cast on critical will be obscenely expensive. Fair warning. You can use energy retention instead. So what we have here is, we have Comet here, which is our main damage. Let me correct this, that's level 40 actually. We were on the other side. So this Comet should reach level 40. I mean, do your best in getting level 40. The 40 is the cap. Do not try to exceed 40, right? I do have a special video for this. You cannot exceed level 40. I mean, do not pay for a Prism of Belief plus 3 Comet. Don't pay mirrors for it, because it's not going to work if you follow my build, right? If you are missing levels somewhere, then it's obviously useful. We have Boundless Energy. We have Rakyatos Flow for bypassing resistances, actually inverting them. We have Diala's Desire. That's a tech of mine, right? That's, I think it's a good idea, because the additional quality will affect both Comet and the cast on critical, which will save us some spirit, which is why I'm able to do some of the stuff that I can do, right? Yeah, this is barely enough. I have a very good amulet, but we'll see. And then we have this one. Sadly, this is about 1,000 divine these days. Yeah, pretty nasty. So what this does is, guys, I double tap. So let's take a look at this. My cast on critical is 30 and my Comet is 40, right? Let me take it off. I'm getting 6 levels out of this. Why? Because it says if the supported skills are being modified by exactly 2 supports, it's going to increase their level by 3. So the cast on critical is being modified by Boundless Energy and Diala, boom, plus 3 levels there. And the Comet is being modified by Rakyata and Diala, boom, plus 3 levels there as well. So you get 6 levels out of this one. That's why it's so valuable, right? And that another reason is that Expedition is disgusting. The only mechanic I skip in the game, guys. I hate it. Yeah. So this drops from the expedition boss Allrod, right? Alongside with the flask. So this season the prices are insane. So this is about 1,000 divine. Let me just take a look here. Divine. Uhtred, is it here? Oh, it's actually a little bit lower these days. But try to get your hand on one of these. This is pretty important. Obviously, you don't have it. You can use energy retention there, but then you might need to get the Prism of Belief +3. But that's a little bit silly because the Prism of Belief +3 Comet is extremely expensive. You would just get this, and that's gonna be better. We have Elemental Weakness for again bosses only. Focused Curse, Magnified Area, Efficiency 2, Curse Ground, and I have the correct gem this time around, a Ritualistic Curse. So here comes a little bit of my tech. I'm not saying no one has ever thought of this, but this build is, I would say, mine in the end, right? I have taken a look at a lot of builds, right? And I have arrived at this one. So we do have a little bit of Spirit extra, as you can see. And with Diala, we reduce the reservation of the cast on critical. And with the Amulet providing us Spirit, we can do two things. So the first one is our tech that grants us access to the Fire-Infused Comet and Lightning-Infused Spark. So what it does is, guys, it gives us a 7% chance per power of the target to spawn a Cold Remnant, which will trigger Cold-Infused Sparks, right? And 7% chance to spawn a Fire Remnant on igniting a target, right? And the Lightning Remnant is absolutely irrelevant. We do not utilize these. So how does that Fire Remnant igniting thingy happen, though? It's not very easy because, the cold is very easy because the Comet is going to destroy everything and it will freeze the enemies and we will be getting our ready access to our Cold Remnant. So that is a bit of my tech. So you do get extra fire damage on your weapon and then you can do this, right? So it's not going to be as often as the Cold Infused Spark, but we will have access and we will trigger the Fire Infused Comets, which we will observe in a minute. So that's the tech I have. And for our final Spirit reservation, I went for Arctic Armor. And guys, take my word for it, right? People say this all the time, but they are not telling the truth. I just don't die, right? And this even works in the Light Radius tech, in which I'm very squishy. I did come close a few times. Was my fault. So I can't really tell you how long since I haven't died. I mean, the build went to its final form and I have not died for several hundreds of hours, I think. Yeah, that's how good it is. So we have Frost Nexus, Cold Mastery, Freeze, Knockback, and Cold Penetration in here. As you can see, we don't really have too many Dexterity gems, so only 30 Dexterity is enough for us, and we have a little bit of base, and Headhunter will be providing us with like 20 at least. So Dexterity is done. We do not get any Dexterity from the tree. And finally, we have Blink. That's for the Light Radius tech. I turn these two off, and Blink will activate for Light Radius tech. And we have Uhtred Zoman here. That's sadly, again, expensive. That's about 400 divine. That gives +3 to the level of Blink, which reduces its cooldown and which increases its distance traveled. Obviously, this is very luxurious, right? This is for Temple tech only. So we have an obscene amount of energy shield. All of our resistances are capped-ish. Chaos is almost there. We have a huge energy shield. We have a decent life total. So I have Comet here in my bars. The reason for that is to check the cost. Right now I don't need it, but what we are aiming at, and this is not going to happen unless you move to this variant, right? If you do on a budget, this will not happen. So we want the Comet's life cost to be lower than half of our life, right? Because there will be moments that you will trigger multiple Comets, right? Because Comet's quality has a chance to repeat. And so if your life is not double your Comet's cost, you will be dropping much fewer Comets than you normally would. But as I said, this is not achieved unless you go for the decadent version of this build, the expensive version of this build, which I'm about to show you. So As for our skill tree first or gear first? Let's go gear first, I guess. So as you can imagine, to no one's surprise, we go for a vertex with +4 all skills, and we want to keep the crit chance and the chaos resistance both intact. Mine is a bit degenerate because, you know, I have 2 sockets in it, and I also have the energy shield intact, which is also still perfect. So this is, no, I will try to price check for you also. This is about 1500 divine or so, I think. Maybe a little bit lower because the crit is a little bit on the lower side, but yeah, about that level. And here comes my magnum opus, my most expensive piece. This is an insane item, right? Yeah. So you want as high energy shield as you can on this one. This would be, I think, in today's economy, about 14,000 divine or thereabouts, 2 mirrors, right? I was able to get it for about, 1.5 mirrors. I'm very happy about this. So the way I went for this is, guys, I had a working, okay, build. And what I went for was, I know this is the most expensive piece. I know this is the most important piece for me. And I'm going to wait until I'm sitting on a good amount of currency. And then I will buy this. Then I will, change the build, right? So I would definitely suggest this is the first piece that you should get because it's extremely expensive. I mean, the other stuff will be paling in comparison. So, you can scrounge the amount of currency for that stuff later on, right? But this one, you have to save up, right? It's not going to happen. And if you opt for a worse version, then the build will be somewhat gimped because you will not be able to achieve the breakpoint that I said to you of reaching double Comet's cost in life because we have a passive that gives us a life as much as the energy shield on our chest, right? So if you opt for a 1200 energy shield one, you will gonna lose out on about 200 life because we have some percentage life as well. The stuff that you socket in here will be mostly the elemental, all elemental resist and the chaos resistance gems to your liking. So yeah, this is about 2 mirrors last I checked. One thing that's free, that's nice, right? This is worthless this season. For the amulet, you want fast metabolism allocated, which allows us to not remove the leech. So guys, when you leech, right, it's normally over the course of 1 second, right? And if the leech is supposed to fully heal you, then it's going to go to waste, right? It just goes away. So for example, let's say I take 500 damage, right? Then I deal 10,000 damage, which is supposed to heal me for 1,000, and then I heal the 500, and the other 500 goes to waste. Fast metabolism doesn't allow the additional lingering heal to go to waste, so does wonders for your survivability. You generally want a gold amulet. If you want some more spirit shenanigans, maybe you could go for a solar amulet, which provides spirit as the implicit. You want +3 all skill levels, obviously. You want critical chance. You want global defenses. You want percentage energy shield or flat energy shield like I do here. You want spirit. And finally, you want critical damage or cast speed, right? So my amulet is really very good. I think I got it on a bargain like 1,500 divine, but I would say it's 4,000 or 5,000, I think, is its actual value. Hard to do that. The spirit is perfect. That makes a difference. So to me, it doesn't, but when you are selling it, it does. So yeah, that's the kind of amulet you want. Obviously, let that cast spirit go if you are doing this on a relative budget. So all of your budget should be dedicated in getting the best Hot Series Splendor that you can. The ring will be something like this. You want life. So, the goal of having double Comet's cost in life can be achieved. You want as much rate as you can. You want cast speed. You want resistance. Could be chaos. Could be something else. You could get the chaos from these sockets as well. Doesn't really matter. And you want this modifier. I don't go for cold or lightning damage for the reasons I mentioned, because if I go cold, it's going to only help Comet. If I go fire, if I go lightning, it's only going to help Spark. So this is the better version. So the energy shield will be broken every once and then, but once the headhunter buff stack, it's going to regenerate to full at some point. So yeah, but there will be points in which the this bonus will be turned off. We go for caster modifiers to amplify the cast speed and the spell damage while full energy shield modifiers. That counts as a caster modifier as well. So both of those get amplified at the same time. We go for add series equity with hopefully 3 sockets, and you definitely want an increased life cost efficiency there. That's how we can achieve this, right? You want also a cast speed in there, but if you don't have a 2-socket version and you are not able to cap your resistance, obviously go for the resistance. We want the critical chance and intelligence as high as possible. That's about it. And on the helmet, we also want the increased cost efficiency. As you can see, I can barely do it, right? I mean, I have 1653 life as my Comet's cost, and I have a little above double that, right? So none of these are optional, right? And sadly, this 25% increased life cost efficiency on the glove is very expensive. Was about 300 divine last I checked. This one is decent, like it's like 10 divine or so. And so for a headhunter, we again go degenerate version, double corrupted, as much life as we can. We don't care about dexterity. It could be as little as it could be. Charm slots can be 2 or 3 because we have the campaign bonus. And we want energy shield and lightning resistance with the way I go about it, but it will be depending on your boots. You could get any other resistance, and the energy shield is good. Obviously, none are a must, right? Finally, as for the boots, we want a 35% movement speed boots with 5% movement speed in it, right? And as high energy shield as we can. This is probably my weakest piece. This is, several hundred divines. Could get something better. Triple resist if possible. And if your resistances are sorted, you could definitely go for the Iron Rune in there for additional energy shield. Could go for a 3-socket. For the flask, we have all rots for additional survivability. Do I fully recommend it? No, you can let this go, right? But if you are going for the rich version, yeah, that's good. For the charms, we have the slow charm, we have the freeze charm, and we have the rite of passage. For this character, do not get a cat. It's maybe useless, will be a little bit rude to that beautiful item, but we want a stag. Why? Because the cat provides us with crit bonus, whereas we already have a 100% crit, right? I mean, it's not helping us, but the spirit of the stag will provide us with extra lightning damage gained, which means more damage. So, and their values are the same. So at some point I was using a cat, right? And then when I finally got to this stronger version, I changed it for a stag. They are almost costing the same. Obviously, we want to get crit. Did I go over the staff? I didn't, right? So for the staff, we want something like this. The extra fire is important, right? Why? Because the extra fire will give us fire damage, which will ignite enemies, which will give us our fire infusion. So if you have a lightning cold one, you won't be able to trigger my tech, and you won't have access to fire infused comets, right? That's pretty important. So one of the extra damage types has to be fire. This is a bit of a classic, right? You want 2 extras. You want spell damage or spell damage with skills that cost life. It's the same thing, but that does roll lower. So there, plus 6 old spell skills, cast speed, and the critical bonus. And then you have to min-max your crit chance. Mine is at exactly 100%. You will be utilizing your jewels for that. Let me go into the skill tree. That's the ascendancy, right? That's the thing that makes the Atziri chest very important, because we are going to get the life, and so the tech will trigger, right? We go for, obviously that's for our survival, right? Because we will be casting everything with our life. This is very important as well. That's how we reach 100%. That's why Bloodmage is very popular this season. And builds that do not play Bloodmage utilize Bloodmage by using the Covenant to emulate this, right? And finally, this is very nice for survivability. And this is the tree. I don't want to go over it for every single skill. The red hue points are meant for the primary weapon set. The green ones are meant for the secondary weapon set. They have curse magnitudes, larger area, that sort of thing. So the Sigil of Power and the curse can be bigger, right? This stuff has more damage, reduced cast speed, that sort of thing, which do not mean anything to me in the secondary weapon slot, right? The jewels are a bit of a classic. Spell damage, energy shield, crit chance, and crit damage. And you have to min-max your crit chance here. So, for example, if I take this off, I should be losing 2.25% of critical hit chance, which means my crit chance should be 97.75% or higher. And if I remember correctly, it should be on 97.8. Spark. Yep, exactly 100%. So this is important, right? You have to arrange it properly, right? Because we will be getting critical from multiple sources. We will be getting it from the staff. We will be getting from the gloves. We will be getting from the helmet, right? We'll be getting from our jewels. And you have to make sure that it is 100%. And, you don't want to go 103%. That's a waste, right? Anyway, all of my jewels look like this. I do have a Heart of the Well as well. We'll get to that. As for a keystone, we have this one because there is a mana stacking build. That's the only build that's more expensive than this. But normally, the mana cost for Comet is extremely high. It's not very easy to maintain it. So what we go for is we cast it with our life, and because we have life steal with spells, that will help us recover because we will be dealing much more damage than what we spend. So that's gonna heal us. And it's going to heal us instantly thanks to this beautiful glove, right? Leech from critical hits, and we are dealing only critical hits, so there is that. The mana flask is absolutely irrelevant, as you can imagine, because we do not have mana. Yeah, similar jewel, that's there. Anything else? We get energy shield sort of thing. So the thing is, guys, for example, I could definitely get, more damage, right? But at this point, I am at a sweet spot, which you will observe. I can kill everything in the game and I just almost never die. So I'm happy with this version, right? 9.3k energy shield is pretty good. For example, sometimes when I blink, right, I get knocked down, and when I blink, I'm in light radius gear, right? I'm much more squishy. I don't have the Arctic armor. I have like 1.5k lower energy shield, but still then I don't die. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it didn't happen, right? I did have a few close shaves. So yeah, that's about it for the tree. At this point, I can't really go to any more notables, so I grab the critical damage bonus when I level, as you can see, right? So yeah, my critical damage bonus is like 560 something, 578 critical damage bonus. So the damage is pretty good. And let me showcase to you in the temple I have been building, right? I have been doing a lot of videos on this as well, and you'll also be able to see the loot. Two birds, one stone. So how do I play? Normal playing is very simple. I just spark, right? All of these are meant for bosses only. When I'm fighting a boss, I put the Sigil of Power on the ground. I do Orb of Storms. Then I do the Curse. And I can do the Curse beforehand because thanks to our support gems in there, it will be constantly cursing the area that it's at. So that's why the cast speed on the Sigil of Power doesn't really matter too much. You pre-buff, right? You go to the boss, and when the boss is spawning, you just do the thing. And when they spawn, you just melt their face with sparks, and they are just gonna die because you will be raining comet after comet on them. So is the temple ready? I think it kind of is. We can go. And as you can see, it's an okay temple now. So this is pretty hard, by the way, right? There are a lot of modifiers here, so we make the monsters much harder so we get better loot, right? Let's go. The loot should be in the 6-7 divine neighborhood by now at this point, which you'll see. Okay, let's go.
Unpredictable, as always.
And you'll see that it will go pretty fast. I mean, this is not even necessary. I did Sigil of Power, but... Oh, okay, nice. I haven't been seeing these in a while. We pull the upgrade medallion. Okay, so the filter I have here is, you know, one of my own design. I am hiding stuff at the 0.05 divine threshold, right, or 10 exalted. So chaos are hidden. Chaos and below are hidden. I might need to upgrade it soon because, you know, it's getting more and more lucrative. Yeah. Okay, that's not it. Yeah. So I might have to turn anything below 0.1 divine off, right? Which would mean perfect augmentation orbs, etc. Okay, this is a nice run. So we don't have any exalted yet, right? As you can see, you know, I'm raining many comets. So guys, if you do this build and you are not raining many comets like I am here, the reason will be because your life total is not double your comet cost, right? Because from my quality, I get a 16% chance of double casting, and in that interval, you do not have the opportunity to life steal, right? Which means you will not have enough life, and the cast on critical will not double cast the comet because you don't have life. So that's very important, right? Being able to reach that threshold. But sadly, as you can see, it's also pretty expensive. But what you can do is, if you can't get the Uhtred, right, your comet will actually not be 40, and the cost will not be as much, and then you will be able to double trigger the comets, I think. Okay, that's it. Go. Yeah, with the Arctic armor and whatnot. So by the way, also let's say just take a look at the infusions. These guys drive me crazy. Okay, Zantipi, I don't think. Okay, need that. Okay, so I have a fire infusion here, which means whenever I get a comet, it's gonna be fire infused. Let's take a look. See? And you know, that one has a tooltip damage of like 4.5 million or so. Without buffs. 4.3 million or something like that. So you might notice that my life gets low. Actually, I'm not in danger. That's the life cost of the comets that are being cast on critical. As you can see, my energy shield is almost always fully intact or thereabouts. Okay, I'm picking up the maps for the energy farming. Obviously, they are below my pay grade at this point. Did I miss? Okay, these proximal tangibility guys, mighty annoying. Okay. No divine yet? Oh my god. Come on, Temple. I'm trying to show you off. Really? I think my worst run at around this point was about 3 or so. Yeah, I need to turn these maps off at some point. Okay, the room did complete. Ah, finally. That's a little bit late, you know. And what's this one? Oh no. Is that valuable? I'm not sure. The Palm of the Dreamer is valuable, but I'm not very sure about that one. I mean, let's take a look. Obviously, you will be getting a lot of such uniques. Oh, the blinking has started. I hate it. Yeah, I think it's time for, you know, a strictness update. So guys, at this point, I have Chaoses, Greater Exalteds, Perfect. I always confuse the name. Perfect Transmutations. Now, anything around the Arcanist Etchers, Glassblowers, Bubbles, Armors, Scraps, all of those are hidden. Oh. 800 Divine Sail, eh? I was able to get a very nice Soul Tether for cheap. Yeah, that's... So guys, kind of makes you question life. I mean, I have been working at this all day and, you know, that has nothing on this flip. That was hundreds of Divine's profit. Okay. Now I'm not even making money. Why per cap? Oh, that's the last season's fella. So it's been nerfed to the ground. If you recall, guys, last season you were able to get 5 less enemies, 5 fewer enemies are required to be considered while surrounded, and surrounded requires 5 enemies, so you could, you know, always be surrounded at all times. Now it's been changed to, you know, you will at least need 1 enemy in your presence to be considered surrounded, no matter what the cap says, so it's a bit worthless now. Last season it was pretty hot. Commander. Let me grab this. Oh, is that calm? Yeah, 1,500 life. That was hot last season as well. There was a life stacking build which didn't utilize any resistances or spirit. Is it open? Okay, it's already open. Lazuli ring. So one of those is valuable. There are multiple kinds of these. Maybe I should start turning off those as well. Nope, that's not the thing. Yeah, I'm picking a little too many at this point. This is an item that triggers me, guys. I have, you know, busted my butt off to hide that. I couldn't. I mean, I have a bullet in the filter that says that item is hidden, but it's not. I can't hide it. Right? I tried it importing from the game. Nope, couldn't hide. So it appears and annoys me. So this is, by the way, the extreme opposite of lucrative. The hell is this? 1 divine? Oh god, that's gonna be okay. Yeah, you have to complain. That's how it works. But 2 is also still mighty bad. But of course there is some redeeming quality. I do not get anything below 15 divine actually in reality. Why? Because we have a tier 3 sacrificial room, and that gives us like 13 divine or something every single run without exception and fail, which is pretty nice. So this is the Spy Master chain done. Now we go into the corruption chamber, etc. You have to click on these or it doesn't allow you to move to the next room. This is worthless, sadly. I'm not even sure if I did the right thing by upgrading this. Okay. Now we are going to make a little bit of money. Let me grab this. Okay, that's nothing. That's the Jam Cutter's Prism. Okay, now is the money thingy. This should give us an Architect's Orb. This is about Alpha Divine, I think. But that's guaranteed, right? I do get this every single round. Architect's Orb, where is it? A little below Alpha Divine. Okay, now is the money. Yeah, that's the one. So that is the double corrupt thingy, right? That is anything below 10 to 13 divine, and I do get it every single run. You know, I love this part. 100%, guys. And it doesn't go away. Okay, that's 3 divines. That's a little bit better. Still not good, though. Okay, that's Alpha Divine. The Jam Corrupting thingy. Crystallized Corruption. Yeah. So these are all guaranteed. I do get these every single run. So, you know, just to give you some motivation. No, that's the regular version. That's just Val Orb. Okay, now the Thaumaturge Corruption Chamber blah blah chain is over. And you cannot have more than 1 altar of sacrifice. If you were thinking about that, you can. You can have only 1. But it's gonna give you more than 10 divine every single run at level 3. Alright. Armories are just garbage. I mean, the bonuses they provide is nice, but they don't do anything. They do not even have a chance of dropping medallions. So that was about 16, 17 divine or something. Not counting in the uniques that we had gotten. Provided we do not get any additional. Nope. The Seed of Cataclysm is very commonly used and that's valuable. That's why I'm taking a look at Lazuli rings. You know, the famous critical hit chance and crit damage for spells ring. Okay, it's done. That's done with. It's done, yeah. Okay, I did skip that one. So that's about it, guys, for the temple. One more divine to save the situation. Save the day. No. Okay. Okay, so that's about it. One run. 3 divines. This beautiful thing. That's like more than 10 divines. Let's take a look. Yeah. 11 divines or something like that. So that's about it, guys. Did I go over anything? So if you are curious as to what those are, let me just go over them again. These are wall limb modifications. You have to have a tier 3 flesh surgeon, and when you go there, you will be given the option to receive one of the buffs for your left arm, left leg, and right leg. And these are all active. So these are not active in Val Temple only. They are active everywhere in the game. There are, of course, some bad ones out there, and they do go away when you die. So there is that. I have a feeling that I have forgotten something, but yeah, the light rage tech that I have a special video about. What does it do against bosses? It kind of destroys them. The only thing that I didn't try was Uber Arbiter, but I'm confident that we will perform okay there as well. So that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. The character's name is this one, PoNCIK. You can take a look at my PoE Ninja to, take a look at my skills, take a look at my gear. You don't have to use this video as a reference. 63? What's that? Yeah, that's that one. Okay. The map modifier from the Zantipi medallion gave me that medallion. So take a look at my temple bonuses. I don't think that's relevant to the video, but that's about it. 2,500% rares, additional rarity. That's from the map modifier. 451% rarity. Unique humanoid effectiveness here. Yeah, and these do add up to this kind of yield. And at this point, every single room that you put in adds a lot of efficiency to your temple, because we have a lot of buildings boosting the others. So yeah, that's about it. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. What about the budget? Well, I mean, you can just let a socket go here. You can let a socket go here. You can let the chaos resistance go here. You can let the cast speed go on this amulet, right? You could let one of the modifiers go on this ring, but the ring is not that expensive. On this one, let energy shield go, but spend most of your currency on this. Obviously, let this one go, right? If you have to. This is pretty expensive as well. On the staff, yeah, try to get to 100% crit. If you can't, it's not the end of the world. Don't gimp yourself in order to get 100% crit, but it does help, right? It does help with this. It does help with the energy. Yeah, that's about it. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.